All right. Like a lot of stories involving this group, this one starts with a post, and specifically a status update on the Sonic Stadium member board, or SSMB for short. Um, at that time, I think it was 2018. Kingdom Hearts 3 was still in development. And as such, one of the things that that showcased from one of the early trailers, not the first, mind you, if I recall correctly, but still one of the early ones, was a word based on the product we're seeing today. Well, re-seeing for a couple of us. Um, as such, I did not know anything about it technically. I mostly skipped it because back when it came out, I wasn't particularly interested in it and just dismissed it as a quote unquote girl stuff. And after seeing Frozen 2013, I was even more kind of convinced to not to give this one a watch. But when Kingdom Hearts 3 was in development, I did ask a question out of curiosity and see if there was possibility for the villain to actually be potentially fought, because again, you don't knew anything. The answers that I got were kind of polarizing. Some said yes, like Jova, others said no. And eventually the game took a third option entirely, but they can discuss this another time. But among the other answers, Pedro actually came in and decided to have an intense course on the franchise, because around the time Disney was also releasing a sequel series to the part we're watching today. But that can be a story for a relatively soon time. For the time being, this is our Generations of Tangled, released in 2010. Before anything else, I have a question, in case you guys do know. Is it true that originally the movie was properly supposed to be called Rapunzel, but the title was changed because they were afraid it would have thrown away the male audience?
Allow me.
Yeah.
See, the thing, originally this title was a passion project by Glenn Keane. If you don't know who Glenn Keane is, he's one of the prominent lead animators of the 90s Disney Renaissance. So when he was brought back to Disney by John Lasseter, this was something that he wanted to do. He even got his daughter, Claire Keane, to do art for it. In fact, all the paintings, all the illustrations that Rapunzel makes in this movie and in the series are all done by Claire Keane, because Claire Keane actually did come back for the series as well. However, and yes, it was originally called Rapunzel. It was going to, Lekin's original vision for this movie was to make a movie that looked like a moving painting. And you can still look at that original 2008 beta footage, because it got leaked on the internet. And however, Glenn Keane had to drop from the project as a director because he was having health issues. So as a result, Nathan Greno and Byron Howard, who now is known for being the creator of Zootopia and recently Encanto, Byron Howard, and as well as Nathan Greno, who also directed Bolt, took over the project, and they changed it to a more traditional CGI type of movie. And yes, originally it was going to be called Rapunzel. However, since Princess and the Frog did poorly at the box office, which was of course because Disney was absolutely fucking stupid and put it on the same fucking month as fucking James Cameron's Avatar, as a result, the marketing department looked at it, okay, clearly the reason people didn't go to see Princess and the Frog was not because we were stupid with its terrible marketing and terrible release date. No, clearly it's because boys didn't go see the movie because boys wouldn't go see any movie with the word princess on it. Obviously, that's the reason.
I swear to God, stupid reasoning like this is part of why the Disney Renaissance is still my favorite era.
Is it a bad time to mention that in my country the movie is actually called Rapunzel? And yeah, the reason that I saw, as I mentioned, is because I dismissed it as girl stuff.
Oh, okay, so Teo proves Disney's marketing correct then. See?
I was around 18 when this came out, so...
So basically, Teo, when Disney made that decision to rename the movie, they were thinking of people like you.
The thing is that they even gave it a subtitle in order to essentially combine the elements of it, because the official title is Rapunzel, but the subtitle is The Entanglement of the Tower. Really, that's literally what it's called.
Yeah, everywhere else, including my country, is just called Tangled.
I guess it's a unique enough name for the Rapunzel tale, because, in case you're wondering, this is actually based off of Rapunzel. I remember when people first saw trailers of this and they thought, this is currently a Rapunzel movie. Why aren't you just calling it Rapunzel? Some people thought this was actually going to be some different sort of princess with a different name who just happened to resemble Rapunzel with the long hair. And that's why it was called Tangled.
That's the thing, Joe. That's the thing, Joe. It wasn't just the name. The actual trailers did their freaking hardest to focus as much on the male protagonist as much as possible. Like Rapunzel was barely featured in the marketing. Like they made
okay.
Their faith in this movie was very questionable.
Okay, the way the trailers went, you would have thought that our main male protagonist was actually the lead, and the princess of this movie, while also a main protagonist, was kind of more so the secondary main protagonist in that regard, based off of how the trailers went.
I don't know, Jova. Honestly, Jova, to me, the way the trailers went, it just came across to me as, look at that, look at this awesome thief with swashbuckling action with a horse. Oh, and there's a princess in there somewhere, I think, if you're into that sort of thing, I guess.
Alright, we have dwindled enough, so we can actually start at the proper Disney CGI logo. This should be the same if you're watching on Disney+, so we should be good to go with that. Let's start in 3, 2, 1, click. For reference, I'm checking here, the budget was 260 million, which is quite a lot, actually. Probably invested a lot in the physics for the hair. And the recouping was 592. So technically double its budget, but I do wonder if the marketing cost, did not still made it a bigger recouping.
You see, everybody, the reason we're doing this commentary to begin with is actually because of me, like Theo just said. I was the one who took the initiative and made him a Tangled fan. Go on, Jova.
If I recall correctly, wasn't this supposed to be more of a 2D animated hand-drawn film? But then, of course, due to Princess and the Frog...
No, like I said, Jova, originally the idea was to make the movie look like the show would eventually turn out to look like.
Hey, it's the 50th animated film they've done.
Yes.
Hold on, page to finish.
And however, Glenn Keane, the original director, had to drop the project because he was having health issues. His daughter, on the other hand, Claire Keane, stuck around and still handled a lot of the art.
All right, our male protagonist here is actually voiced by Zachary Levi, which you have seen in more recently as Shazam.
Literally in the first few seconds of the movie pretty much goes, yeah, any of you who thought that the girl wasn't going to be the main lead, yeah, no, like, our male lead pretty much even admits that this isn't even his story, technically.
Fun fact, the character design of the male protagonist is based on one of the directors, Byron Howard, aka the creator of Zootopia, like I said. In fact, here, let me get you
Oh boy, this kingdom.
Okay, I'm spoiling things a bit, but don't worry, this can be spoiled. Geographically speaking, this is supposed to be in the middle of France, believe it or not.
Yeah, right here.
She kept it for herself.
Right there, as you can, basically, aside from the goatee, yeah, it's pretty much spot on.
Let me see, I forgot. Donna Murphy voices Mother Gothel.
Donna Murphy, who is actually, before this movie, was actually mostly known for doing Star Trek.
Honestly,
Yeah, Insurrection.
It's weird. It may just be me, but the villain in this one gives me major Megara vibes.
Megara, you mean?
Yes.
So this
That's
because
be like if Megara were actual full-fledged villain.
That's because of all of the movies from the revival era, aside from Princess and the Frog as well, this was the one that definitely tried the hardest to basically be like a 90s Renaissance movie, just in CGI. To the point where even the character designs go back to that mold.
So that's why Mother Gothel evokes Meg vibes.
By the way, if I remember
it's weird. She even sounds like Meg to the point where when I first saw the movie, I thought that was Meg's voice actress, I'll admit.
By the way, if I recall correctly, The parents in this movie, at least, never say a
No.
single line. I do wonder if they wanted to be cheeky and reference Sleeping Beauty, where 2/3 in, none of the main characters stop talking and never speak again for the rest of it. But it's actually interesting. They will be given a voice in future projects.
So yeah, so as you can see, Rapunzel's magical hair gives you youth, which gives Mother Gothel an explanation for why she kidnaps Rapunzel. Whereas in the original fairy
But
tale,
you cannot just cut them away.
yeah, but in the original fairy tale, she just kidnaps her for no real reason other from the fact that she's evil.
Wait, hold on. Actually, in the original version, she usually takes her as sort of about a payment because the father, in that case, actually goes and asks her for this or that to help his wife.
Is it?
Okay, it's one hell of a drug, do it, lady. Oh, what child actor did they grab in? The Lady Rostein.
Alright, I won't, as easy as it is for me to do, I won't be making any Star Trek Insurrection jokes, because the issue with Donna Murphy's performance in that movie, okay, it was kind of a bit.
Well,
it was mostly the script.
If you want another
What does that
target,
even have to do with this
if
movie?
you want another target, she was Doc Ock's wife in Spider-Man 2.
So this is how she came back to life.
There we go.
Sure, why not?
As a small girl with magical hair.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a bit weird how she died in Spider-Man 2.
Also,
so
no, we were referring to Donna Murphy, so
Oh.
And this is Pascal, the animal sidekick of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have Rapunzel voiced by Mandy Moore.
Yes, Mandy Moore, who of course is an old.
Aerith.
Yeah, she was Aerith in Kingdom Hearts 1.
One of many Aeriths.
I mean, look at this, Tim. Now we have Brianna White, so.
Well, actually, it's funny because, she came back to voice Rapunzel in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Actually, she didn't.
No, she didn't.
They actually got a sound alike for that one. That was the weird part. They got Zachary Levi to reprise his role, not Mandy Moore, though. That was the weird part. But to be fair, Disney did get a very, very great, convincing sound alike. To the point to a point where most people, as Joe just proved, didn't even notice.
It was weird, however, because Mandy Moore was reprising the role for the character for most if not all side projects that Disney was having, including, of course, the sequel series and all the other Disney Princesses brand stuff.
Remind me.
Sorry, no.
Did they actually get her back for Aerith in Kingdom Hearts 3 for that side DLC?
No.
Well, here's the thing, Jova. She didn't even reprise her role as Aerith in Kingdom Hearts 2, even, because the thing about Mandy Moore as Kingdom Hearts 1 Aerith, it was like more of a one-time thing than anything. She never voiced Aerith ever again, aside from that game.
I guess Steve Burton was kind of just the one standout that they really decided to keep from Kingdom Hearts 1.
Well, Steve Burton.
Final Fantasy.
That's because reportedly. That's because reportedly, apparently, Nomura liked his performance. So, anyway.
Well, good for you, Nomura. Good for you.
Anyway, Rapunzel keeps her occupied with a montage song.
Well, to be fair, he did get better. So.
It makes me wonder if she wants to make a snowman in the winter.
No.
Tio, they're in the same universe.
To be fair.
How long does this take you?
Whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, like we mentioned, again, I wonder how much it costed animating the physics of his fucking hair.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
Apparently, it was incredibly painful.
Yeah, it was, because... Anyone who's an animator will tell you that the hardest thing to animate on a person is their hair. And they actually created a brand new piece of software specifically for the purpose of animating the hair in this movie.
For being 2010, it's still aged arguably very bad, in a positive manner.
Definitely.
Especially compared to a lot of, say, where you see like a lot of PS4 and Xbox One games done around this time where instead the hair looked terrible.
And welcome to Uncharted.
Speaking of 90s Disney Renaissance, Alan Menken and his lyricist Glenn Slater also returned to do the songs for this one.
Wow, this was a return to form.
They also returned for the series.
By the way, that's Ron Perlman is one of the twins.
No. Actually, he plays both the twins.
Well, I recall correctly, one of them does not even speak.
As for the...
No.
I mean, the most interesting casting thing for me in this movie was that they got Jaws from James Bond to play a role, Richard Keel.
Mm-hmm. Also, too, you want to talk about... sorry, never mind. You already did.
Cute.
But yeah, this is Zachary Levi playing Flynn.
Most people
introduced to us as.
Yeah, most people know him nowadays as Shazam.
Name-wise, it's a clear reference to Errol Flynn, as in an actor who was mostly specialized in those kind of adventurous, rambunctious movies, particularly pirate stuff.
Most famously, Robin Hood.
If you've seen stuff like, all right, you gotta need the line. We.
And then the hair snaps or something as she falls to her death.
How triumphant. Actual comment about the animators for the air physic.
Yeah, and that was a Disney executive. I don't know why it takes so long. You've animated.
Considering also the behavior relationship between these two characters, yeah, I think it's actually very spot on. Oh, this.
I also see you. Yeah, yeah.
Hilarious.
That's not passive-aggressive parenting at all.
Back on already yet. Yeah, and that's how.
Again, cocaine is one hell of a drug, Rapunzel. You need to take time. Come on. But yeah, Garfield is mostly a psychological kind of villain. She's fine for what the movie wants to do. I don't think I properly mentioned this in commentary. I think the last major great villain to me in the Disney animated canon was probably Dr. Facilier. Everyone came after what, like in this case, is actually fine for the movie want to do, but cannot actually easily recapture what Disney actually went through during the 90s and the early 2000s.
I'll argue
That's not to say that we haven't gotten good Disney villains here and there. Like, Mother Gothel here is a fine enough Disney villain.
She's very psychological rather than being mostly, physical or Originally, again, keep in mind, when I saw this movie first, I knew nothing about this. I was like, oh, she's kind of like Ursula. She uses potions to do stuff like that. But no, it's psychological. Think of it like a non-combating version of Ragyo from Kill la Kill, just without the incest, thankfully.
But yeah, I do get what you mean about Disney villains of now not always being able to reach the levels of mark
that that's where they're even
Disney's
present.
of the 90s did. And that's why Disney likes to just remake stuff often.
All right, but yeah, for the purpose of this movie, again, I don't want to still detract because, like I said, she's actually fine for what the movie wants to accomplish, especially considering how in the original tale,
Hold on, this detail. Yeah,
Hey, Shuri,
yeah, to keep you safe and sound, dear. She says as she hugs the hair. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Shuri, it's time for White Diamond's number.
One day I will be able to understand all these late.
Oh wait, did Donna Murphy voice White Diamond or something?
Well, let's just say it feels like they fashioned White Diamond explicitly after Mother Gothel.
I can see
Donna
it.
Murphy was the one who voiced her as well, too. That is possible. I'd need to recheck, though.
I mean, she's more of a voice actress nowadays, so it's possible. Fun fact, might as well bring this up. This movie was also a huge success in my country, and one of the big marketing points that Disney Portugal used was the fact that this movie, voice cast-wise, was a Beauty and the Beast reunion. Because the same actress who played Belle plays Rapunzel, and the same actor who played Beast plays Flynn. So, there you go.
Wait. Underdressed? Whose fault is that? It doesn't seem like you've been providing her with much clothes, woman.
Maybe
Wouldn't be surprised if she had to make that dress herself.
No, she doesn't love her. She wants her. That's different, I guess.
Mother is going to scare you. Honest, honey.
As for Mother Gothel herself, she's voiced by the big legend go-to actress for Disney villainesses. She even recently played Abuela from Encanto.
Actually, know nothing about My Country's Dub. I didn't particularly care enough to check it out, especially because, again, apparently everyone was recasted anyway when the series came along. So I was like, okay, they did it in Dowry because this isn't just going to stick to the original.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is basically the Don't Go Outside song. Meanwhile, back with I keep calling him Flynn.
Just call him Shazam if you want.
Well, that is his name, Flynn Rider.
At the very least, you should be glad that you're not in a Tales of game. It could be much worse.
Yeah.
Oh.
Brilliant.
Yeah, this is like on Tangled. You use the characters to give you a boost.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Emotional damage.
But yeah, on that specific night that we brought up, me and Teo watched back to back this movie as well as the pilot of the series, the pilot movie. So,
all right, let me see. The Captain O'Gara said he's played by MC Gainey. I swear I heard him somewhere else. If it's not still him, he sounds scarily like the security guard from Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase.
Ah, neat.
But I don't think it's him. Let me see. Hello. And yeah, this is that Max did not talk, the horse. Again, the inspiration from Sleeping Beauty is clearly present because this horse behaves exactly like the one from Sleeping Beauty, basically.
And in terms of Disney Renaissance, we've got the horse from Mulan, and of course Pegasus from Hercules.
Yep.
Also, oh wait, and I guess there's also Achilles from Hunchback of Notre Dame too.
True.
And that was Tangled, everybody. Actually, the main character isn't dead, but
I mean, he did start at the beginning saying that this is story how he died, so
Wait,
might as well put a few fake outs.
Well, okay. Okay, I guess Flynn Rider died, meaning we now just have the girl protagonist. Okay, Tail, time to leave the feeder.
No, guys.
Cooties.
No, guys. Plot twist. It turns out they're literally pulling a spirit on us, and actually, Flynn's voice is coming from the horse.
Sure, that's not Matt Damon, though.
No, instead it's Zachary Levi. Although, honestly, I'll admit, I never really minded the Matt Damon voiceovers in the Spirit movie.
That's the thing, Joe. I don't even know what it sounds like because I only watched
See,
it on the.
Well, okay.
yeah.
Fine.
After all that effort, the King's Royal Guard they tried to find where his daughter was being.
My problem with those voiceovers.
Flynn just stumbled upon it.
Yeah. My problem with those voiceovers is that they spell out what doesn't need to be explained, because the visuals do just a fine job showing you what happens.
And that's basically now the iconic deadliest weapon in the entire franchise. Yes, it's recurring with that, the
Yes,
frying pan.
the frying pan.
Also, it's like I like how you've never left your house and you just killed a guy.
Save
First time for everything.
property protection first, Shira.
You know, not gonna lie, it would have been interesting if we went for a weekend at Bernie. Not gonna lie, it would have been interesting if we actually did go for a weekend at Bernie's thing where Rapunzel actually does kill him in that regard, and she has to spend the rest of the movie trying to cover it up.
Hold on a second. Nope, no pointy teeth.
I guess he's not British.
Oh, here you go.
No, he's handsome, therefore he can't be evil.
Funny, Dwibs, with how that was going, it sounded like you were going to say, he's handsome, so he can't be British.
Raps?
Raps. It's the hormones tale. Remember, this is her first time seeing a man, so.
But,
wow,
Pedro, we got already 2 instances with this montage.
You are a horrible ICA agent. It takes you that long.
Rapunzel, what is happening up there?
She's trying, okay?
She's trying to cover a murder.
Oh.
She's new at
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
I forgot. What's that movie where it's about two employees having to
I let us
their
bet.
boss?
Is that the one with Daniel Radcliffe?
No, that's another one. Sorry.
You've kidnapped a man. Well done.
Yeah, the one thing about Raps, the isolation has also left her with some shades of insanity.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a constant.
Yeah.
Right on. It might be a perfect fit.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Not like that.
No, you don't wear it like that. No, it's not a magnifying glass.
At least she's not trying to actually comb her hair with that, like in the Little Mermaid.
Might as well answer that. Glenn Keane originally based Rapunzel's personality on actually his own daughter, Claire Keane.
Huh.
Because just like Claire Keane, Rapunzel loves to draw.
Oh boy.
I'd rather just have parsnips on their own, to be honest. Yeah,
How
keep telling
specific,
yourself that.
Yeah. That's the thing about Mother Gothel. Like Theo said, her villainous nature comes specifically from how emotionally abusive she is to Rapunzel specifically. So basically, this is basically the first time a Disney animated film probably handled the topic of emotionally abusive parents.
Actually,
Well, okay, so okay,
entirely-
you can argue Frollo first, but I will argue that
I argue also Hades. Well, okay, Ragnarok came before the Hercules, but Hades has some shades of that towards Megara. So,
and there was also
well, but Hades is not Meg's dad though.
You were always the shit mother.
There is also the Rescuers. No, wait. Yeah, Rescuers.
I guess, sure.
Technically not a parent, but,
Yeah.
adopted figure, like with Mother Gothel, so...
Sure.
It applies.
Hey, Jova, and maybe Tom and hey, what about the Tom and Jerry movie?
That's not a Disney movie.
I know.
I mean, technically that does apply. It's just not a Disney movie. Like,
Well-
yeah, crap movie, but it technically does do that.
Don't worry. One day when Disney buys Warner Brothers, it will become a Disney movie.
Oh, boy.
How long has Flynn been in that cupboard?
he's fine.
This is like Hitman. You put him in the cupboard and no one notices him.
I think it's been like a few hours.
Yeah, exactly.
This-
Hitman.
Well, yeah, Dibs, not Hitman specifically, but I played a lot of MGS2 back in my day, and yeah, we do that stuff all the time in there.
Yeah, I know, right?
What, you didn't want to sing a song about potential murder before seeing if he's alive?
Yeah, how
Yeah,
is
he's
Flynn
still
He's
knocked
fine.
out.
How are you going to resuscitate him, Rapunzel?
in with the frying pan again?
Actually, come to think of it, I wonder
let's homage 24 instead.
Come to think of it, I wonder if she murdered a guy, could she just use her hair to bring him back to life?
Pascal,
He's doing his part here. Come on.
oh
Ew.
god.
Oh no!
What did
that
you
is
do?
just Wet Willy of the worst maneuver.
Lady, I just woke up.
He's like, I don't even know what the fuck is going on.
Oh, I am too sober for this.
Read the script. It's Flynn don't.
Try and be
I
formal.
think that's an actual line from the original fairy tale. Well, aside from that last part. Also, watch out, Rain. You're gonna veer steadily, steeply into dream territory if you keep like that.
Well, actually, that's a good point. Well, the line that Mother Gothel says, Rapunzel, let down your hair, that's the actual, most iconic line from the fairy tale.
Mm-hmm. Wrong.
Okay, he's gonna get brain damage at this
let's
point.
try this again.
Complete with the same revival.
Rapunzel, of everything you've learned, have you learned how to give someone a medical assistance?
Rapunzel, you can't solve all your problems by knocking people out and nearly killing them.
With a frying pan.
It's worked up until now.
Yeah, all of the
I love
one
this line.
time. Oh wait, no, it hasn't.
I love that line. Why on earth would I want your hair? That's the thing, Flynn. You'd be surprised how many people have certain fetishes. I'm watching you.
I bet he'd rather be in actual jail.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Excuse me?
All the same, he still has the company of a very lovely lady. All the same.
Excuse me, I'm tied up here. Like,
Wee.
Oh,
Oh,
You're gonna marry this girl.
that's gonna be a fun conversation to tell the kids on how you met.
You see, well, Shiroy, maybe that's it. Maybe Rapunzel picked up on some things from Mother Gothel, since she's being very abusive to Flynn right now.
Mommy, how did you and Daddy meet?
He broke into my bedroom and I hit him across the face with a frying pan.
would it sound too? Well, okay, no, I'll save it for our time.
Also, what Mother Gothel taught her was emotional abuse. This is physical abuse.
By the way, that bit earlier when she told him her name Rapunzel, and he's like Gesundheit. That's again another nod because the original fairy tale is German. So.
Mm-hmm. Details.
But that means you'd have to go all the way back here.
You can trust me even though I've knocked you out, hid you in my cupboard, nearly killed you, and I'm holding you hostage.
Who's supposed to be the criminal here again?
I know, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Okay.
This bit here. This bit
Okay,
here.
now that was a DreamWorks phase.
Oh, now, so of all the physical abuse you've done this guy so far, that's the one that goes too far for you.
Who knew he was into being whacked with a frying pan?
Don't you see, Shiroi, like York says, that's fine as long as that's what Flynn wants. Think about it, Shiroi. Like his actions, he's always asking for it. It's his partner's job to serve that need, and Rapunzel knows that. See?
I love how York implied that Tom and Jerry were actually a gay couple.
I know that's why I fucking love that scene.
Honestly, you know what that means, though. In that case, that would mean that the Tom and Jerry movie was actually on to something.
I know, right?
Wow. And now I'm just imagining York doing TED Talks on
All right.
widely hated movies and somehow making uber sense of them.
I love this particular scene because it's classic. It's classic old style Disney reprise.
He is literally singing about grass and
Yeah,
dirt.
this is basically when it comes to the revival era, aka the name that fans have given the current era of the studio, Disney Animation specifically. If Byron Howard is directing it, it's pretty much a guarantee it's gonna be great. This movie, Zootopia, Encanto, like the guy cannot be stopped.
Is he also the one doing Disenchanted?
No, that's not a Disney Animation movie. That's
Are you sure? Like, it's probably going to have Disney
well,
Animation. How Enchanted works.
They're probably going to use the animators from the studio, but Disney Animation is not the one doing the writing and directing because that's a live action department film. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, Flynn.
Wow, she's already having the existential dread and she hasn't been out of her house for 5 minutes.
You know, gotta give her credit. Flynn seems like the kind of guy who's easily lulled by a pretty face. It took all of a few minutes for him to decide, yeah, not worth it. Like, he's in it more for the satchel.
Yeah, everyone always leaves home at some point.
You have to throw the thing away.
Well, little do you know. She has
Maybe even turn her into a heartless.
Reverse psychology at its finest.
That's not a problem.
That's not exactly letting her out of the deal. It really is such a sad case that we did not get a frying pan keyblade in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh,
hey!
Classic.
Hey, look, it's Thumper's cousin.
I don't know, Flynn. I don't know, Flynn. Based on my experience, rabbits can be very dangerous.
Yeah, sometimes they'll blow you up with TNT.
Or they'll fucking eat someone alive, like in Holy Grail.
Just leave their throat, yeah.
Or brave really cold mountain conditions just to bite you.
Also, that rabbit is adorable. You're just judgmental.
Yeah. The rabbit. Shiroi, the rabbit from Holy Grail was also adorable. Look how that turned out. Can't judge.
That's the bunny I'm talking about.
That's the problem, Shiroi. You can't judge by appearances.
Also, which rabbit are you talking about?
The killer rabbits in that One Piece arc.
Oh, right.
That.
Yes. One Piece has Monty Python rabbits.
But yeah, Maximus is of course the head of the royal horses, which is why he's determined to get Flynn. Oh. All right, I actually do want to mention something about this bit. Paranoia. Okay, to be fair, Mother Gothel, I mean, for all you know, maybe it might not have anything to do, but at the same time, she's paranoid about it, so.
To be fair, as she has mentioned, it's a palace horse, which those don't normally sojourn out in this area, hence why, she has this area.
And even before getting Rapunzel, as we saw through the narration, Mother Gothel was extremely paranoid about the Corona guards.
Also, she literally just pulled the bricks off that thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
The light burns.
That's not how it works, lives.
Rapunzel, you probably should have picked a better place to hide that.
They really didn't get his nose right.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll fix that nose.
It's
Give
nice.
it a little shave.
There you go. The Snuggly Duckling. This will also become a place in the series.
Don't think it means those kinds of things.
I mean, it is 2010 after all.
That's
Psychological warfare, Flynn, I see.
Oh.
Well, crud, that backfired.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's a really cool running gag where every single poster has the nose in a different way. By the way, Hook Hand there, and yes,
that's Richard Keel, the one with the goatee.
yeah. Also, Hook Hand, and yes, we know his name thanks to the TV series. Hook Hand is voiced by one of my favorite voice actors, Brad Garrett.
Cool.
The only one who I think they did change is, I forgot his name, the guy with the helmet, where in the series is voiced by Steve Blum instead.
I gotta say, in terms of actors appearing in a Disney movie, the last one I'd expect is one from James Bond, but there you go.
Well, there's a lot of older actors like those who have become voice actors. It's a common thing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Richard Keel was one of them.
Yeah. Richard Keel does reprise his role in the series occasionally, and yeah, as well as Brad.
Jesus. That Robin Hood had a really downward spiral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I can't do because my hand is a hook.
Really did work for
Please,
Captain Hook.
Captain Hook scoffs at that.
Yeah, I'm
Hey, Pedro.
afraid of this one.
Yes, sure.
I don't know how much American Dad you've seen, but me and Alice cannot hear this without the parody they did.
Yeah, true. Oh no, I still watch it.
Yeah.
Unlike Family Guy, American Dad is actually still solid. That's the not a lot of people know this.
It's the one we both still watch
Yeah,
of his stuff.
that's the thing. That's the thing.
Pretty much.
That's the thing. Sure, not a lot of people know this, but most of the original Family Guy writers migrated to American Dad, and the current Family Guy writers are just new. Go on.
Yeah. Even Seth MacFarlane himself has more involvement with the creation with American Dad at this point than the making of the Family Guy episodes.
Hold on.
He
Just
still
wait.
does voice acting for them, but he's not really like, the head honcho writer of Family Guy that he used to be, and it shows. 'Cause
Yeah.
going from Family Guy to
Oh.
American Dad is like night and day.
Basically. Also, Shorty. Yes, we know his name thanks to the TV series. Shorty, please don't throw me a smudge, please. I'm not comfortable with that. Aw. That's the one too, Attila, the guy who's played by Steve Blum.
Well, again, like I said, he seems to have a different one in this.
No, Attila doesn't actually speak in this movie, if I remember
He
correctly.
had a line before.
Did he?
Yeah. I love this.
Also, the birth of a meme.
Love.
Oh yeah, there's the meme.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anytime someone drops a hot take, that happens. I mean, you kind of stick out in this environment, but yeah, we'll listen to your dream.
But don't you see? That's our common ground. We all have a dream.
Yeah, even the goat has a dream.
See, like the lyric just said, so our differences aren't really that extreme.
Very nice. Congratulations, it's an old man in a diaper.
Well, shit.
Shit. Yeah, but you
you
go
asked.
too.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh, come on! What's wrong with dreaming about having a house in a like in a in a tropical place? That's perfectly fine dream to me. Excuse me if my dream isn't super romantic like yours is.
You know, I like to imagine that up until this day, Maximus just acted like a normal horse until he came across this one rapscallion who dared to try to ride him, and this is how he's acted ever since.
Yeah, I gotta say, Maximus is possibly the most determined horse character I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, that guard, we now know his name is that just got knocked out. We now know his name is Stanley, so we can look forward to seeing more of him in the series.
Oh, look, even he's got a dream. Bless him.
Oh, and I love this one.
tell.
What kind of flirting line is that? I just found myself a tall glass of water. Like, what? How? What kind of flirting comment is that?
Oh, well, believe it or not, tall drink is a flirting line.
I don't understand it.
I think I prefer the Korean one that Crony explained to Kiara in Hololive about the pickup line about going to see your cat.
I'm pretty sure if I'd said that to Vanessa, she would ask me if I'm drunk.
Get it? That's what the tall drink is in that regard.
I wasn't allowed. Hang on.
Oh dear.
That's the reason. Yeah, I think that's the. So they have her hold her hair to save on animation budget.
That's the thing, Dwebs. Because of the complete reboot of the project after Glenn Keane's, departure because of health reasons, the movie had to restart production completely, which is why it has kind of an inflated budget compared to other movies. Yeah, let's just assume everybody here doesn't like me.
But wait, what about me?
Oh, here we go. Here's one of the most beloved bits from the movie.
Oh, I can strike through armor to knock them out.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Oh, fuck.
Uh-oh.
Watch out for that wall.
Oh.
Yeah. Told you, watch out.
Slow-mo.
Epic slow-mo.
Yeah, even animated films are doing it at this point. And there's only 2010. That crazy one. Actually, I think Zack Snyder's the only one keeping it alive. As he originated. Well, maybe not originate.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Popularize it.
That's the thing. If Army of the Dead is anything to go by, his new trend is having the camera constantly be out of focus for some reason. So
Also, the Suicide Squad had a couple of slow-mo shots like that.
Yeah.
The one.
The one.
Yeah. And there's where I think this is the second. I think the water was the second highest budget expense of the movie.
probably.
Hey, the frying pan survived.
Good to know.
Well, shit. Is the hair gillyweed?
Nope.
Well, then you're fucked. Not even the frying pan will help you. Yeah, I always have my eyes completely shut when I go underwater without goggles.
Well, at least the water's not rising at the moment, so it's not like you're in immediate danger of drowning.
It's
Yeah,
more,
it's-
plot exposition, waiting
Yeah,
water.
It's
Yeah.
stopped so you can have a moment. How nice of it.
Well, actually, no. If you notice at the bottom of the screen, you'll notice that the water is rising. It's just doing it slowly. See, notice on the bottom of the screen, the water is rising.
It's moving slowly enough so that we can get out the exposition.
You were singing earlier and you weren't glowing.
Honey, how long have you been hiding this from me? Could you imagine, Shiroi, if they never had gotten to this point where she had to reveal it now? Maybe this would only come to light when they were married, and they're like, Rapunzel, for how long have you been hiding this from me?
And never needed to bring it up.
I mean, I don't know, like, considering we're husband and wife, I feel like the fact that you have magic hair that can heal people, I feel like that's something you probably should have brought that up at some point. I mean, we could have used it at some points.
It never really fit into conversation.
I love Flynn's reaction.
Man, then, hold on.
This is not how I expected today to go, to be honest.
It kills people.
Yeah, that's the only thing more deadly than my frying pan.
Yeah, the other thing about Mother Gothel, aside from being emotionally abusive, is she's a master manipulator, as you're about to see.
Yeah, have your bag.
Lady, now you're speaking our language.
He's already past that point.
Look,
I don't know about that,
lady,
Shiroi.
I have fought a revenge-driven horse at this point. Honestly, this is kind of just a 6 on the scale compared to the 10s I've had to deal with today.
You say that, Joven Shiroi, but he's about to do it still anyway.
I mean, he's allowed one. It's been a stressful day.
It glows and has healing magic.
My God. Doctors would absolutely hate this woman. Universal health care, and all it takes is a song and some hair.
No, they're taking her to the government for testing.
Oh, here you go.
Breathe. Just breathe. It's fine.
See, he's not freaking out, guys.
Oh, totally. Clearly.
But that's not how it works.
Hey, Jova, reminds me of that bit from Hunchback where Frollo's all like, when your mother abandoned you, everybody else would have drowned you.
Honestly, I'm
Complicated,
starting
It's
to
old conditioning.
Still at war with yourself, I see.
Or war with her mother talking for herself.
Yeah, that's his real name, apparently.
I never got people who thought that Eugene's like a bad name, honestly.
It's not so much. That's the thing.
Again, it's more in universe. He himself
He's about to-
considers it not that much.
Yeah, he's about to explain it, actually.
Yeah.
So you're like Eugene Krabs. Same name.
So yeah,
The Krabs is orphan.
it's not that he dislikes the name Eugene. It's more so that Flynn Riders. It sounds like such a cool escapism persona for him that he just decided to take it.
Yeah, I'll agree. It sounds cool. Yeah, these kinds of films, to be honest, that fascinate me the most. Films that are this expensive yet are also this short.
Project
$260 million and it's only 100 minutes.
The movie had a total of like 7 years in development, I think, in total, if you count it. Because remember, at midway they had to reboot it completely because they had to restart the whole process because the old style of animation they were going for, the director making it wasn't around anymore. So yeah.
So it was basically every minute of this movie cost $2,600,000.
Yes. All this plus the footage that we had to throw away.
Yeah. Lovely. You can even tell me all about that when we get home.
Damn, lady.
Are you sure he's the demented one?
I love this line. I love that. Oh, that Donna Murphy makes.
Ooh.
I like to imagine she even prepared the song as part of her plan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay, I need to think up some lyrics right on the fly here. Oh, my knack for songwriting, don't fail me now.
Some others do, but I'm not quite sure about you. Oh, fuck, I rhymed it now.
I know my mom never just disappeared creepily like that.
Oh, I love this line.
Yes, lost in thought, I guess. More rhyming.
Eugene, question. Did you ever have a crazy psycho mother who you ever started to doubt in your life?
And Eugene's like, I'm an orphan. Oh, oops, sorry.
Terribly sorry.
Hold on.
It's like she planned all that conversation to go.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's where I disagree with Teo in particular. Like, I think like her massive psychological manipulation skills was what makes her a great villain. Because to me, as long as a villain is great what it does, that's all it needs. I don't need a villain to be physically capable.
Yeah, you have to be careful or else you'll rip him in half and you'll never... I mean, I don't think you can claim a bounty with his shoe. Oh no, the horse knows what it's doing.
Thank you. I am right here.
Bullshit.
He's a sweetheart who tried to gut me with a sword.
Yeah.
We're keeping him. Just for today. Yeah.
Basically.
I don't want to chase.
Come on.
It's her birthday. Don't be a Scrooge.
Hold on. Wait for it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. This came out in 2010.
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh. The Avengers Love Tap.
Sure.
Exactly.
I mean, So, welcome to the ever aptly named Kingdom of Corona.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna make sense. No.
Hey, in Kingdom Hearts 3, there's a version of Tension Rising known as Tension Rising, the Corona version.
I take it. I understand that Melody of Memory didn't call it that because.
Actually, I don't think Melody of Memory does it.
It's of Latin, origin, and it literally means crown.
To say something less common though, the Tangled video game actually has let's just say the Corona level goes on for way longer than it needs to, and we'll get to that after this.
I mean, there's also Corona. There's also Corona beer.
That's one way to have Rapunzel usually show up. Braid her hair.
Also, about earlier, she said not to get him arrested. She didn't say that he couldn't twat him with his hoof.
Also, Maximus knows exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, the horse is shipping it.
Oh, wait. So 1 minute he tries to kill a guy, next he's shipping him with another girl he's just met.
Hey, no reason he can't do both.
Yeah, but if he kills the guy, then wouldn't that mean a tragic end for his ship?
That's okay. She's young. She'll find another ship.
Also, I do love that you can dance with the people in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Again, at least we to strike
Oh my god, yes, there were actual people!
Yeah.
As some Call Me Johnny pointed out.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. The Tangled video game, unfortunately, didn't do the same. The Tangled video game just kind of has you do weird little mini games that don't really have anything to do with what happens in the movie.
Hey guys, spot the main character.
Yes, Jova?
To be fair, here the series will actually try to diversify a bit also the important other characters of all.
Oh no,
that wouldn't come for a few years.
No, the first season of the TV series is basically entirely just world building for Corona, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the TV series. Not all of its episodes are winners, but no, it's an overall great series.
You were supervising him all day. You should know.
It doesn't taste like people. It doesn't taste like people.
Now you have guilt inside you.
Unless you ate only the apples that were bought. But which ones were bought?
If any. I love you guess this is the 1 year they forget to do it.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
I mean, I guess at least for lots of probability, one time they had to delay for 1 day because of bad weather, potentially.
Yeah, I was about to say it's about to rain.
Wouldn't that be something? It would literally rain on her parade.
And then along came Zeus, so yeah.
You could take up scrapbooking.
She will,
Or
actually.
you could...
Stamp collecting.
Or hell,
maybe
you could even...
More of a
Maybe
reason
you
to
could-
Oh,
get
here you
your
go.
hair up.
Here's a bit. Like, you talked about how the King and Queen don't have any lines until the series comes in, but this is their one scene, but they do... look at that.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll get our voice boxes soon, we swear. Oh yeah, and don't worry, we'll get...
So yeah, the King and Queen only have this one scene, but the movie makes it count.
Yeah, I thought out of context, you think it'd be about them getting their voices at some point.
It's interesting because with how their hair looks, there's some gray streaks, but in the TV series, apparently they must have had some of that magic from Rapunzel's hair wear off on them because their hair is actually back to being more proper for... yeah.
Maybe you can. Maybe it's just that job. And suddenly they rejuvenated 10 years when they found their daughter. In the movie,
Yeah, the stress was aging them.
for the TV series, we have Clancy Brown voicing the king.
Yep.
Because why not?
Maybe they didn't
Yeah,
give them
why not?
voices because they thought they might have them die of Disney-itis.
Yeah, that's
Actually, yeah, this is a rarity. Both parents alive.
Yeah.
no strings
exists.
attached.
Including in the
Okay.
TV series, for the record, in case anyone's wondering.
And in
They are
case anyone
alive,
is
and
wondering,
that is suspicious.
in case anyone is wondering, yes, there is kind of an origin behind why a lot of Disney animated films like to have parents die of. It's because of Walt Disney's own cynical past with his mother, who died by having her.
See, Shirai?
Literally injecting your own family.
See-
No. It gets better. She died in a fire in the house that he bought for her.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
See, Shirai, this is the same logic that Hino uses with the cats. You know, like if an artist loses something for a tragic thing, it will forever color that artist's work.
I mean, that is very true. But the thing is, there's only so many times you can do it before you have to ask, okay, are you punishing us? Or, like, what is happening here?
This is my way of coping.
Well, your way of coping is upsetting me.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, okay.
This was actually...
There are these one or two lyrics where I think if Phil Collins take over for a bit, describing what we're seeing at the minute.
This is the song that got nominated for an Academy Award, and Zachary Levi and many more actually performed it at that year's Oscars. Yeah, remember when the nominated songs were actually performed in the Oscars?
I
forgot. Was "Lose Yourself" actually the one nominated when 8 Mile rolled around?
Yes, "Lose Yourself" not only got nominated, it won.
Because it wasn't actually performed that year. It was
there's a reason for that.
2018 because Eminem wrote a song for Venom. So when Venom
showed
up,
that's it. Oh, I actually have an interesting story about that too, but I'll wait for the 8 Mile commentary.
Sure.
I swear that movie is one of the biggest anomalies.
Let me check. We have mentioned in the past how Zachary Levi was present as Fandral in the Thor Marvel movies, but let me check also what else he did before this.
If I remember correctly, he started as your typical art-throb teenager actor. You know, that we've seen so much in American teenage shows.
God. The second role in his career was Big Mama's House 2. Oof.
Yep. He was also in Alvin and the Chipmunks.
The Squeakquel. Yeah.
The poor man.
Was the year before this? I think this movie was the one that properly launched his career.
You know what's sad? In Alvin and the Chipmunks of Squeakquel, he was basically the 2-bit replacement for
James Marsden. Because James Marsden is usually the one who's always plays movies like those, Hop, Sonic, you know.
No. It wasn't James Marsden. It was Jason something. Let me check.
See, the thing is, Jova, ever since James Marsden became Tom in the Sonic movies, people have...
Okay, it was Jason Lee who plays Dave in the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies.
See, the reason I asked is because ever since James Marsden got cast for the Sonic movie, the memories of Hop immediately came back, and people, is this James Marsden's thing? Just starring with CGI creatures.
Which is funny because he actually pretty much started that with Enchanted.
Yeah, this is basically James Marsden's big specialty, co-starring with CGI animals, basically.
You know what's amazing? Given what has been said in reviews of the Rescue Rangers movie, James Marsden's character from Enchanted could potentially know his character from the Sonic the Hedgehog movies.
James Marsden meets James Marsden.
That would be cool.
Oops.
You left us behind.
So yeah, he was about to return the crown because he doesn't care about it anymore. However...
He's got the figure, hasn't he? Oh.
Shit.
He's multiplying.
And he sounds like Ron Perlman.
I mean, I guess it's a trade-off. You give away Thunder, you get Hellboy.
Well, I mean, I guess this is a kind of a twist of the liar revealed thing.
And then the second act breakup.
It's more like a...
Well,
technically...
Like the third act breakup because...
Second to third.
Well, okay. I think, technically this is still a lie reveal. It's just that it's a lie reveal on part of the villain. The villain's the one lying, and that lying will eventually be revealed. It's more so it's a lie reveal still, it's just that it's the villain doing it.
It'd be worse.
Yeah, again, this is why I love Mother Gothel as a villain. Look, and she, without even telling them, knocks them out, making she made everything look like that she's the hero who just saved Rapunzel. So there you go. She manipulated everybody in this freaking movie to get what she wanted. Literally everybody. The Ron Perlman twins, Eugene, and now Rapunzel. Yeah, and she literally just made herself look like the hero in Rapunzel's eyes.
But yeah, something's not quite right here.
Yeah.
I know. I'm always right.
I'm always right, since you are always wrong.
I sang a whole song about how right I always am.
Special delivery.
Let's not question the fact that he seems to be tied up and conveniently drove up to us.
Oh, the crown. Yeah, funny story about that. Yeah, and Maxima, but that's the thing, Jova. Unlike the guards, Maxima's knows this is suspicious. So yeah.
Because the horse is the competent one.
Well,
Just replace all your guards with horses.
that's the thing, Shiroi. Remember, by the time the TV show ends, the show basically gives him that big reward he deserves for that anyway. So.
Now we'll burn all these flowers like I always do.
The world is cruel.
Yep.
The world is wicked.
You projecting there?
Everything the light touches
Yeah.
is
It's I alone.
that light got lucky.
It's I alone who. I forgot what was the rest of the lyric, Jova?
Oh, I don't have those ones on standby.
Yeah, I did like that bit in 9K3 actually, where they did a twist on that. Everything the light touches belongs to someone else.
Everything the light touches must be destroyed.
Yeah, that's the Corona emblem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think Mum was lying to me.
Yeah, see all those illustrations that Rapunzel has been drawing on the walls and the ceiling? Those were done by
She was unconsciously drawing.
No, they were all drawn by Claire Keane.
Yeah. She was kind of unconsciously drawing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My whole life has been a lie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, this bit here. Yeah, this bit here. This bit here. This was the first scene they ever showed in the first trailer. Just this scene. And they talk about he's fearless. He's whatever. So yeah, as if he's the only one that's the protagonist, basically.
I told you I hate mumbling. Shit. Yeah, I love bits like that.
The
Do you know how you fucking mumble?
Nice stutter.
You're not answering
Why
the
would you
question.
give such a pregnant pause?
Yeah, more like.
Hey, look, kidnapping, adoption, they're practically the same thing. Come on, come on.
He's going to be Zack Snyder to death.
No, Dreams. We need a licensed song in the background for that.
Oh, I just murdered the one man who dared to show you kindness. What, now I'm the bad guy?
She's about to bring that up, actually.
That was my favorite mirror. Now she's getting all Tony Montana.
You always were, though.
What, Tony
Well,
Montana?
now I'm going to be an even better guy.
Ah.
Unicorn.
Vladimir Kalatsoramic, you.
Let me see. We did mention who voices Shorty. Let me see.
It's the same guy who returned for the series. I just
Yeah,
don't,
yeah, but
I just don't remember his name.
Paul F. Tompkins, an actual comedian.
I mean, I guess you can't use swords to hit people in a Disney movie, so we use frying pans. He's just a vibe. Just go around him.
Oh, I know how this works. Just pretend that you're snipping over his head. That usually works, right, Jova?
Or just,
Relax.
I don't know, pretend to break the glass.
Suddenly now every guard is on this, I guess.
Well, I guess to
Hey,
be
where-
to be fair, Jova, at the very least, Corona's guards are actually competent, unlike the guards in Swan Princess. So
Oh, according to plan. By the horse.
yes. Hold on, I love this bit. Yeah, we're kind of in a hurry, Eugene. Yeah,
Time's a wasting.
Yeah. We can do this later.
Oh god, we are doing the spirit thing. Woo-hoo!
Mommy, why is there a horse jumping for the rooftops?
Why, it's all part of his exercise, dear.
Horses do that.
I hope.
What are you talking about? Horses do that all the time.
Thank goodness they remembered the way. And it's conveniently now starting to get dark and spooky in the sky for the final climax.
It's basic film visual language.
Alright, if I remember correctly, in the original fairy tale, it's not a climax, but it's kind of something similar to that. The character actually discovers the fact that in that case the prince actually has Mad Rapunzel, tricks him into coming in, but then suddenly cuts off either the hair or he chews a rope for
Yes.
that, and he becomes blind because he actually falls into a bunch of rope thorns.
Yes. In the original fairy tale, yes, like Taylor said, yeah, she the witch in the original fairy tale, she's just a witch, not Mother Gothel. But she uses the hair to trick the prince, and then she makes the prince fall, and the prince falls into the forest and becomes blind.
Oh.
He tried.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about the fairy tale. The prince falls into a rope of thorns, but the only thing that gets injured in that is his eyes specifically. Just
Yeah.
the eyes.
The fairy tale still ends on a positive note, if I remember correctly, because I forgot what happens in
Yes, it
between,
does.
but it ends basically with a ball where he recognizes Rapunzel by the voice, I think.
I'll talk about it
And
later.
then she ends up healing him later on and all that.
Yes. Forever and ever and ever.
You know, come to think of it, if she needs Rapunzel's hair constantly, what happens when Rapunzel dies? Because Rapunzel's clearly aging still.
I guess she's just thinking on the moment.
Mm-hmm. She's not thinking long term, clearly.
Well, I mean, at least she's not stupid. Why?
Because of that, Twibs.
Well, I mean, it was going to happen either way.
There you go.
Well,
Now, no one can misuse that power for evil.
I guess it was only the long hair bits, because you'd think that her hair at the end of that would still stay like that. But yes.
there you go.
There
There you go. You can at least save on the budget.
Symbolism.
Huh. That's one way to go. Taken out by a chameleon.
And turned into dust.
Dust. She really was a
It's,
vampire.
it's because she started rapidly aging, and her body caught up to how old she actually is. As in, by this point, she should be dead. So her body stopped existing altogether, which basically implies.
It really is a Zack Snyder movie now.
The fact that her body flat out disappears completely basically implies that she's been alive for basically centuries.
All she is now is dust in the wind.
It's because here's
Another one bites the
I know
dust.
it's a dramatic moment because Eugene's about to die, but still, Jesus.
All right, well, that's the end of the movie.
I mean,
But yeah.
this is the story how he died.
But yeah, like I said before, in the fairy tale, the prince falls into a body of thorns, and somehow only his eyes are hurt. You figured that one out. However, Rapunzel finds him in the middle of the desert, and she cries on top of his face, and somehow her tears heal his eyes.
Tears,
He heal his eyes, and he can see again. Don't ask me how that works.
Some versions, okay, to be fair, some versions do explain that Rapunzel herself is magical, as is usually the case where it's a version where, the reason that she had to be bartered away was because she was the result of magical healing stuff that helped, the father characters' wife survive.
That's the thing.
Got a reference to that.
Oh yeah.
Right now.
Oh yeah. Some versions, including this one, explain that it's magic from her. Like this tear is the final bit of magic from her body. That's the thing about it. But in the original fairy tale, she just has long hair. Period. The hair itself is not. She's not magical. She just has long hair. That's it.
I know about that. However, if I recall correctly, she is, there is still some aspect of her that's magical. It's just that this version made it that the hair specifically is magical. Whereas in most versions, her hair is just a result of her being kept in a tower and her just going, nah, I'm not going to cut it.
Still, interesting, even for the original, to be relatively subversive with what was the formula at the time.
Also, did you notice how Rapunzel has freckles in her nose?
Oh, hey, this
Yep.
works out amazingly. He's got a thing for brunettes.
And hey, the colour's
See,
back in
he's
the
fine.
Yeah, Rapunzel. You might have noticed how Rapunzel has freckles in her nose. That's the thing. I remember back in 2017 when the series first started, because of the 2D and painted art style, the freckles are much more pronounced in her face, and a lot of people, wait, Rapunzel has freckles, and I was one of the ones back in there going, guys, go back and check out the movie. You'll notice she has freckles. Actually, she is that's how she looks like actually. So.
It's a miracle. We found voice boxes. You'll be able to talk again.
Not yet. Only 7 years from now.
And look at that, Your Majesty. The hair is already returning to your heads. There's less gray hairs in it magically.
I guess, well, Jova, maybe that's it. Maybe the parents are the ones who are truly magical.
Yeah, it's funny. Her mother has eye bags now, but she doesn't in the TV show, so... Yeah, I
She's
guess
not
they
stressed
did get
anymore.
younger.
She has her child back.
Maybe what it is, Jove, is that because of her distraught, maybe she stopped taking care of herself or something. But now, but ever since the beginning of this movie, she started, paying attention to her looks more. I don't know.
Oh, hey, there was the sound of him laughing. Was that done by Clancy Brown?
I don't.
I wonder, actually.
They just got him in there
Let me
to
check.
do that.
I doubt it. It was most likely.
Let me check. Clancy Brown, Tangled.
There we go.
We got a TV show.
They hung me immediately.
Oh god, that would have been awkward.
Thank you very
Valentine's
much.
kids.
Yeah,
They thought
thank you
I
very-
kidnapped her, so
Yeah, I can answer it now. Dear Eugene, thank you very much for saving our daughter. But if it weren't for your actions, she wouldn't have gone through all that shit in the first place. So, to
Ooh.
the stock, to the hanging column with you. Where's the mime?
That will not last much.
And the animators could breathe a sigh of relief that they don't have to CG that long hair anymore.
Oh, by the way, pay attention to this upcoming line right here. Yeah, the TV show took that line of years upon years of asking. The TV show actually will run with that line and completely run with it, as you'll see.
And that's the film.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an after credit scene?
No.
Don't think so.
Anyway.
Also, what is the Gravity Falls opening doing here?
Whoever the King's voice actor was, it went uncredited, so it could have been Clancy Brown.
It was probably maybe the janitor, where they just asked, "Can you laugh in the mic for a second, please?"
That's the weird thing. That laugh does sound like a Clancy Brown laugh. So
Okay, could be also cute way of crediting with a Hunted poster. But to be honest, Jova, it could have been the just archive footage for all we know. Even
that is possible too. And who knows, maybe that archive footage just happened to be Clancy Brown and they decided, hey, let's get the guy for the TV show.
Oh, look, a monkey that predicts the future. I wonder if we'll ever see that.
I
I'm
wonder
sure
if
it's
that was
nothing.
supposed to be in the movie, but it got deleted.
Well,
from
let's just say that this concept would not be, unused. Remain
Oh,
unused.
of course, yeah.
Oh, when I was searching for this film on Disney Plus, I just typed in TNA and Tangled came up, but I could also have watched Taken.
Sure. Clearly the
It's
same
on
voice.
Disney Plus.
Distributed another
yeah.
thing by Inheritance from Fox. I don't know if it was for all versions of Jova, but it was actually distributed by Fox in most countries.
I mean, Taken. That's the prequel to Tangled. It shows
Sure.
exactly in full detail how she got
Lover
taken.
Duffel turned out to be the unaged up version of Liam Neeson's daughter. Alright, final thoughts, I suppose. Who wants to start?
Can I go first?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I really enjoy this film. I really enjoy it a lot. I mean, because it was interesting because through the 2000s, Disney's quality in terms of their animated films was really up and down. Like for every Lilo and Stitch, we got Home on the Range.
It's
And
called
with
the
ev-
experimental era for a very good reason.
Yeah.
And with every Emperor's New Groove, we got Chicken Little from the same guy, funnily enough. Thankfully, the 2010s were a lot more consistent, and this was the beginning of that. Granted, I haven't seen every single film that came out in the 10s decade from Disney. So yeah, like I said, the 2010s were a lot more consistent than the 2000s, and this film was the beginning of that. Because, those poor animators having to animate
wasn't
all that
Princess
hair
on the-
for like 100 minutes. No, that was 2009.
Well, yeah, but I thought that was also part of
Honestly-
the revival era. Let me check.
I'm talking about decades.
Honestly, I would consider that the period of more consistent quality started with Meet the Robinsons in 2007, to be honest with you.
Well, even then, that film was pretty much the decade summed up in one movie.
Actually, you know what? That's the fun thing. Meet the Robinsons actually was the official end of the experimental era, or what some people refer to as Disney's second dark age.
What year was Bolt instead?
Bolt was 2008.
2008 as well.
Well, okay. If you want to go by technicality, because Bolt was the final movie to start production before John Lasseter took over the studio, so you can maybe argue that Bolt was the final experimental era movie, kind of.
Oh, no. Like, well, I mean, I'm going off of the Disney canon list, and Bolt is listed as the start of the Disney revival era, which started in 2008. It's just because actually 2008. Basically, it's because 2008 is the start of when they actually made John Lasseter the CCO of the newly christened Disney Animation Studios. Hence the gap there in that regards, and why it's officially referred to as the start of the revival era due to the change in management.
And as for the film itself, again, aside from feeling really bad for those animators, thankfully, all their efforts that went into the film were worth it. All the characters are very fun to watch. Even the villains, that says something when the villain is a manipulative bitch. I mean, I like the songs. I mean, I've heard better Alan Menken scores, but it's not to say the score's bad or anything. It's just there've been better ones. I mean, I haven't read the original story from the Brothers Grimm. I can definitely say it's a better Brothers Grimm movie than the Brothers Grimm movie.
That's not even based on anything particular. It's just an origin story for them that does include elements from some of their tales.
Well, it turns out that Rapunzel is also the evil queen there, played by your favorite Monica Bellucci. Hey. She was gorgeous in that movie, too.
Sure. Go on, this.
And having seen, I haven't seen all of the Tangled series, but having seen some of it, this one does help to tie a few loose ends from this movie. Well, that's not to say this movie's bad or anything. On the contrary, like I said earlier, it's definitely really good. Now, as for it being a musical, again, it's one of those more tolerable ones where it makes sense for characters to start singing, as opposed to to me, the worst kind of musical is when the singing just comes in unnaturally. Do you know what I mean? Like there's very little to no build up to it. They just start singing. It's not a hard and fast rule. I mean, that rule was kind of followed in Mamma Mia, and look how that turned out. Sort of. But yeah, it was a pretty good start to the 2010s for Disney on their 50th film to boot. I mean, it's a good thing their 50th film turned out to be amongst their best ones. Now, as for I still have to fill in some gaps in the revival era because I haven't seen Bolt, not properly anyway, and there are a few other films I haven't seen, like Frozen. But I can definitely say this one was at least one of the good early ones for this revival era, and a good start for the decade as a whole. Yep, that's it.
Caffeination credit.
All right.
While you're at it, Jova, go ahead.
Yeah, I like this movie. The Disney revival era definitely has its ups and downs, but Tangled is definitely a good representative of what happens when they are definitely on point. While it's not the most memorable soundtrack to me, the songs are fine at worst, honestly. I like them. Mother Gothel's a good villain. Again, not the best, but still a pretty good one who does offer some nice tease to the trade and all that. I would still go with Dr. Facilier in terms of the manipulative type, but Mother Gothel definitely gives her own nice touch on it. Good stuff. The characters are all lovely, fun, and well crafted and animated. The set design is great. And yes, the thing that definitely deserves the standing ovation is the work they put into with that gosh darn hair. Like, holy cow. And I can't wait to see how the video game ever so lovingly renders it, too.
That's the thing. The video game was a Wii exclusive, and...
Even better! Yay! But nah. Seriously, though, serious props to the hair in this movie. Very well done. They kind of came up with a bit of a compromise in the TV show, but no. Here... Well, as was said, they made their own engine for this.
Well, that's the thing.
Kudos.
From what I understand, apparently in 2D animation it's easier than in 3D.
Especially considering the technique that they use to animate. The Tangled animated series is not conventionally 2D animated, as for how that makes any sense.
It's funny because a lot of people were worried about if they would bring back her long iconic hair for the show.
Again,
that's the thing. That's the thing too. The Tangled series uses a variation of the Paperman engine, which is basically a software that can mimic 2D animation, even though it's technically CG animation.
Like you said, not conventionally. Especially also for how it looks. It's kind of like how the Unreal Engine 4 is used in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
One it conveys photorealism, on other it can be used for cell shading.
I do get it because hand-drawn animation, while preferable in a lot of cases, pure hand-drawn animation these days can take quite a lot longer time compared to what can be done with computers, which is why I do feel like stuff like Claws shows a great middle ground here. You can hand draw stuff, but do it on digital architecture that can also pretty much flawlessly represent the textures of actual hand-drawn stuff in that regard.
The main argument people say against it is that hand-drawn animation is not eco-friendly because, paper comes from trees and all that stuff, basically.
Technically true, but not what I would use as, the big... I mean, okay, if you are worried about that stuff, I do understand, especially since more eco-friendly options are available. But at the same time, it does feel like one of the weirder things to go after in that regard. But hey, aside from that though, no, this is a great Disney film. Absolutely wonderful.
Okay, no, it's a classic. It really is. It really feels like a 90s Disney Renaissance movie that only got made now. The writing is top-notch, full of wit and tender, and there's a wonderful payoff for every storyline. And the characters are all incredibly charming and well-written. The themes are well conveyed. The animation is pretty great. Sadly, we never got to see Glenn Keane's original vision come to life until 7 years later with the TV show, but hey, At least eventually it happened. Because basically the Paperman engine was originally made specifically for this movie. And like we said, it didn't get used because, the writer had to leave. Fortunately, they did bring that back for the TV series to finally realize that art style. So you can afford that. As for this movie, I really love the songs in particular. While it is true that Glenn Slater is not as good of a lyrics writer as Stephen Schwartz is, or Howard Ashman, definitely, I still think his lyrics are pretty good for what they are. It is true that Stephen Schwartz is a better lyricist, definitely. Alan Menken's score is really great. It's a shame that we don't get much of him anymore in Disney movies nowadays because he's doing the music for the new Skydance animation film because he's one of those who, when John Lasseter left Disney, he followed him. But well, it's a shame. But whatever. That being said, this is again, like I said, when it comes to the revival era, Byron Howard as a director is your best bet. Anything this guy makes is great. Start right after he made Zootopia, he got promoted to be part of the creative leadership at the studio, and very deservingly. And he recently gave us Encanto, so there's that. So again, this is just like the beginning of his. He also directed Bolt before this, though you can definitely tell that that was not his project to begin with. It was something he took over, but this was his first time where he made a movie from the ground up himself together with Nathan Greno. And the quality shows because this guy definitely knows his stuff. So awesome, Shirei.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love this movie, and it would spawn a great TV series much later down the line, but still, it still looks great now, and I hope the animators were paid very well for the blood, sweat, and tears they metaphorically and literally probably put into this. Mostly referring to the hair. Mm-hmm. The songs are cute. Like, Eugene and Rapunzel would become some of my favorite Disney characters, so... It's just a nice, funny movie, and I know it's because she's written well and whatever, but I can still say I hate Mother Gothel's guts, okay? I'm just...
Well, yeah, sure. So she's a villain you love to hate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I wouldn't say love to hate. I just do not like it. I'm not sure what else to say about it. It's one that's overlooked, I think, a bit.
I don't think so. Yeah. I feel like the TV series did a good job in raising more awareness of it. Everything.
Oh, sure.
So
it's one I don't really hear people talk about enough. I don't think.
I guess it's kind of about where it's a really good movie, but it's like it was one that lived in the moment essentially.
Let me put it this way.
Of course. Well, sure, I can answer you one reason why people didn't talk about Tangled as much. It was because of this little movie that you may have heard of called Frozen, which kind of overshadowed it later down the road.
It's not even just that. It's not even just that. Like, Byron Howard would later top this movie with Zootopia. That movie was incredibly well talked about at the time, regarded as the big masterpiece of current Disney. So
yeah. But let's be honest, Frozen was the big over-talked one, especially since that was at that point the highest grossing thing. Like, and mind you, I'm not even acting like Frozen's bad, but Frozen legit dominated Disney discussion to the point where people did kind of forget that Tangled had come beforehand and had already started to do the whole progressive princess thing. Well, technically, even the Renaissance did that before, but we'll cover that when we get to Frozen.
But anyway, no, that's it. Great movie.
Mm-hmm. That does leaves me. No, again, I really enjoy it, to be honest. Again, it's one thing that I can potentially say that I didn't mention is that noticing also while we're watching this, I mentioned that the air physics of the thing that the animators busted their asses for is actually still aged pretty relevantly to this day, and I do agree with that. The faces, on the other hand, sometimes do showcase instead their age. Not all of them, particularly the scenes where Rapunzel has to be looking cute in order to actually, say, sway someone, etc. But you can tell in a lot of situations the faces do look like what you would expect from 2010's CGI, like in a sense of a couple of missteps in some minor places. Thankfully, it's not really that prevalent, but it is potentially noticeable. Otherwise, for the technical compartment, this movie is actually pretty interesting on how it was handled for its age. Again, you can tell that the budget was invested in mostly these, especially considering how only a few major voice actors have to deal with actually their roles. So it's not even having to pay royalty for people who normally would take a lot, like major celebrities. The score is fine. I mean, the main score is fine for what it needs to do. Not super memorable, but it does the job. It's clearly the type of score that works for the movie itself. Might not, be something that you hum immediately after it, but it's still very serviceable and pertinent to the movie itself. The songs are fine for the most part. Again, it's also one case where let's try to to have a joke about someone not liking to sing actually manages to make it work. Kind of like in Zootopia/Zootropolis as a moment like that, which works better than in a case like say Moana, where Maui makes an hypocritical joke while he had his own musical number before. And to be fair, that's the point of the movie, but still.
Well, here's the thing too. I will argue that works fine because Maui is so completely full of himself. He just loves to hear himself talks, and why not sing as well? I think like the ego works.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, remember later on he has a moment where he mentions to Mana, if you're gonna start singing, I'm gonna puke or something like that. And
yeah.
Too late to be meta. That's what I mean. But instead Zootopia actually sticks with the
But don't you see there? Only Maui gets to sing because I mean, no one sings better than Maui. I mean, come on.
But again, despite you can also tell that this wants to also be pertinent to the source material. Sure, it does change one or two things. Again, becoming blind does happen, but you can tell that at the very least they stick to the clear, the major key points. So there's even that kind of bonus instead of being heavily changed like some of the past Disney movies. So they even did their homework on that front. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, Mother Gothel is fine as a villain here and their manipulation, but you can tell that all her managing to, the stuff that manages also to work because the people she has to deal with can be easily swayed and/or are in a positions where she can also physically take advantage of that. Like, again, I kind of really wish she was capable to do something. The movie hints that she's a bit more strong than she appears to be because she manages to diverge the rocks from the entrance of the tower on her own. But we never get to see anything particular, like not even a transformation of any kind aside from, and she even gets taken out kind of by herself. Sure, Pascal gives the stepping a bit, but otherwise she basically just goes full Dorian Gray and sabotages herself as soon as the air gets cut. A bit weak, to be honest.
It's nothing compared to Facilier literally getting dragged to hell.
Or the equivalent of voodoo mythologies. But again, for the purpose of the movie, she's fine, and it's certainly still much better from later villains, including Hans, for example. But again, even the supporting characters are fine. Even Max, Pascal himself, the band of thieves from the tavern, and it's also interesting to see how all of these and more will actually be explored a bit more in the series. Before actually segueing into that, I would like to not discuss but mention briefly, because otherwise it will take us literally ages to get there, to how Kingdom Hearts 3 handled this particular story. It's conflicting. On one hand, it's actually very faithful. They actually recreate a lot of scenes from the movies almost one-to-one. That was a thing that they marketed a lot with the game. And again, the voice actors, they do return and are also the sound alike for Mandy Moore, do their job actually for recreating. On the other hand, it still unfortunately commits the typical scene of a Kingdom Hearts plot that wants to stay close to the source material, where just omitting a few things kind of makes the abridging a bit faulty. In the case of that, removing a couple of supporting characters and villains like the Stabbington twins. Again, it manages to make it work, but it kind of leaves you wanting to have a bit more. And as I mentioned in the intro, the compromise they get for that is that you do find Mother Gothel, but she basically turns into a Heartless, with a giant Heartless thanks to Marluxia, and it's fine, I guess. Again, not what I was expecting, but I was surprised, to be honest. But again, any detail could be actually discussed on that point. So it did took a bit, but eventually they made a sequel to this, as we mentioned through all this movie. Again, and they wanted to go through another classic type of route and homage stuff like the Aladdin TV series, or again the Little Mermaid animated series, as in series that acted as a proper follow-up that instead explored and built upon the things that have been there. And when I say that, I do mean it. Legitimate surprise. The series goes above and beyond in tell you every nook and cranny of Conan and beyond, how every character is important, what's their relationship, and how all this culminates together into what the themes of the series are. It's so intelligent, and again, Jova did mention what he thinks of that. I can already give you my take here. Again, we really know not much of a hint of a doubt. I legitimately cannot find an episode that I legitimately hate or find particularly bad. I think all of them do have something that make them stand out and being good, at least on a basic level. The bar is set that high to me. So that should tell you something about it. So get hyped, because, first we'll have to deal with the video game, or the Thai video game, and I get the suspicion that it's not going to be that great experience.
Get hyped indeed.
The video game is good. It's not great, but it's good. Like it's.
Let me put it like this: so long as you know what you're getting into, graphics-wise. You should honestly have a fun time.
Not just graphics wise. Not just graphics wise. The gameplay does have its quirks. Let's call them.
It's better than the Brave video game.
Oh, definitely. That's not even in question. I mean,
we'll see then at that point. In the meantime, thank you for joining us for these generations. So see you for the video game eventually.
See ya.